Merab Dvalishvili versus Sean O'Malley 2. We're reacting to the news this time on Fighting with Friends. Welcome back to Fighting with Friends, the undisputed African fighting podcast champion of the world. And speaking of champions, I have with me today the reigning, defending, undisputed vegan champion of the world. That is, of course, Brother Gaia.
What's up?
So with us today, ladies and gentlemen, the daddest man on the planet. You might know him as George Jefferson. Around here, we know him as Mr. Brazil. That is, of course, Jedi Knight.
Hello. I'm right here.
What's happening, boys? So today we are reacting to the news that we just heard this morning. This was, of course, following the Cejudo versus Song Yadong press conference. So I'm going to play the clip, boys. This is from the Weasel MMA's channel. We will link the full video in the description, so be sure to check that out and drop a like on his video and on our video. But anyway, boys, we're going to get into the content. So I'll play the video, and I'll just like to get your reaction to the news. Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Sean O'Malley looking likely to rematch Merab, right? And we just got the Sandhagen announcement. So I'm kind of curious how that matchmaking came to be. Was the idea always, I don't think the O'Malley one is official yet, right? But leaning towards that. How did we get there with so many different options, I think, for Sean O'Malley, especially with him, so many options? How did the Bantamweight division shake?
They want to fight each other. I think people want to see it.
Do people really want to see Merab versus
Okay, well, so we'll stop it there. And I'll go to Jedi Knight. Jedi Knight, you are, of course, a Sugar Sean super fan. So tell us how happy you are for this news.
Yeah, I think the fans are going to be very excited to see a rematch because everyone's so crazy about Sugar Sean and his tattoos and his hairstyle and his fashion sense. And the fact that he has a pink Lamborghini also make him even more popular. And I don't actually think he lost the fight against Merab the last time. So I feel like this one's going to be way more competitive, and I'm excited for Sean O'Malley.
Yeah, no, I can definitely hear the enthusiasm in your voice there, Jedi Knight. Definitely no sarcasm detected there whatsoever. But Brother Gaia, what are your thoughts on this one, bro?
You should have put in a Nani? Sound effects insert. Yeah, dude, I'm a bit salty about it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a fan of that matchup. I'm not a fan of the rematch either. I personally think that firstly, shout out to the video done by what's the name of the guy that did this
The
video?
Weasel.
The Weasel, especially about giving his opinions about how who he thinks should be the matchup, and also his arguments to who should be the matchup was really well said. I think because if you look at that at the top 5 of that bantamweight division, I personally think that Petr Yan is actually the one that should be getting that fight next. However, on that note, that would also mean another rematch for Merab Dvalishvili, and the only person that he didn't fight would be the Sandman Sandhagen, but he lost now 2 fights in a row. And then we have Figueiredo, who also lost against Petr Yan. So it's like Petr Yan should have actually gotten that fight. But like you just mentioned, Sugar Sean O'Malley is the popular guy out of that
He
top 5.
beat Petr Yan, bro.
I don't know. That's a very
Sean
questionable
O'Malley
one.
beat Petr Yan.
It's a very question. I think Sean O'Malley must be faced by God itself today and ask him, "Did you really think you won that fight?" Very sure you'd say no. So I personally feel like the fight that should have been made should have been Merab versus Pantoja, and not Pantoja versus Kai Kara France. To be honest with you, I feel like Pantoja and Merab would have sold out more than Sugar Sean O'Malley 2 versus Merab. Honestly, I feel like that would have been the biggest highlight. So, however, that being said, Dana White and the business of UFC, they go with the numbers, and the numbers do say that Merab versus O'Malley 2 will sell out more than Merab versus
Exactly,
Petr
bro.
Yan, Merab versus
People want
Omar
to see
2,
Sean O'Malley.
Merab versus. I can understand why the fight is made, but I think for us fight enthusiasts or fight fan enthusiasts, we would want to see a more dog fight, a more of a Merab versus someone that can actually challenge him. And like Pantoja is the guy, or even Petr Yan. But anyway, this fight is most likely going to happen, and if it does, and we get the dates, I mean, we're gonna be there. We'll be there to watch it
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
I
exactly. And
think,
that's Jedi.
yeah, I think Sean O'Malley is gonna make for a great event at the end of the day. I think more people want to see come out to see Sean O'Malley,
Mm.
um,
Win or lose.
whether he wins or loses,
Yeah.
then people's gonna come out to see Peter Yan and what's the champion's name again? Merab.
Merab.
Exactly. No one even knows him, bro. People will appreciate Sugar Sean more as a champion than Merab.
I mean, that's what the UFC is trying to achieve, right?
So,
That's been their goal. But the thing with Sugar Sean though is that he doesn't have the charisma in the same way Trickers has the charisma on the mic, for example. You know what I mean? Sugar Sean O'Malley's got the charisma because of the like you mentioned, the pink Lamborghini, the purple and Joker kind of hairstyle, the pink, the green glasses. But if you actually listen to him talk, he's not really a trash talker. He's not that entertaining on the mic. He's actually a very chilled dude. There's nothing amazing about his personality, really. He's just a very chilled kind of guy. And he's got a very explosive fight style that's quite entertaining to watch. But Marab, 10 out of 10 times, he's going to make him lose. And I think that's what proper fight fans is not really want to see. Because, I mean, the first fight was such a dominant fashion for Marab. It's like, do you really think Sean O'Malley's going to do anything different to make it go in his favor? Marab probably has to come into the fight with a broken leg or staph infection or something else to make him not show up on that fight for O'Malley to win it. But I can understand why it works for as a business sense. Obviously, sell the
Mm.
tickets.
But I honestly, look, I do agree. But
yeah.
honestly, when I heard the news, I thought that Dana was trolling, bro. I thought this must be a troll. There's no way you can give O'Malley a rematch when you got Petr Yan on a 2-fight streak,
Yes,
beating top
yes,
contenders.
yeah,
Just
exactly.
it just doesn't make sense to me, bro. And like
AD,
we've, yeah,
no, I just wanted to add to what you're saying is
mm,
if Figueiredo had to beat Yan, do you think Figueiredo would have been the next in line?
maybe,
It's very
maybe.
strong, maybe.
Yeah,
Very,
it's
very
it's
strong,
it's
maybe.
it's difficult to say just because O'Malley is in the division and the way things have unfolded now. It's like but honestly, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it when I heard the news. And look, again, I thought it was a troll.
Mm,
But like you said, I do believe people are gonna want to watch that because O'Malley is a draw. Whether you love him or hate him,
yeah,
you're either gonna
yeah,
watch him because you love watching him, or you're gonna watch him because you want to see him get knocked out. So
yes,
at the end of the day, he wins. Both sides of the argument, or both sides of the fans are coming to him.
yeah.
So yeah, definitely agree. Is a draw.
It's more
Uh,
numbers at the end of the day,
yeah,
based on what you
and
just
But
said.
but it can't
mm,
be this blatant from Dana Whiteman to just basically
Mm,
say what, because what the
mm,
message is sending out there is he's saying, look, to hell with all of the fight enthusiasts who've been following us now and supporting us for a long time through the hard days and whatever. I'm
mhm,
trying to sell to a wider market now. I'm not worried about you guys. You guys, I know you guys are gonna be here regardless of what shit I put on for you guys. I'm
yeah,
trying to get more people in. So
mm,
this
mm,
is kind of the approach that he's taking, which I think is a
yeah,
slap in the face to all fight fans. Well, fight fans who have
yeah,
kind of been following the organization for a long time. So
yeah.
yeah, I'm not happy about the decision.
Me too.
And yeah, I don't know if you guys have any other thoughts.
Mm.
I think
I'm
sorry, just
very happy with this.
Because you know he's gonna get
on the,
paid.
there we go. At least
I'm
one
very happy
person.
with this decision. I think it's a very wise decision from the UFC to do this because, as you say, either way, people are gonna tune in to see him get smashed, or
Mm,
people are gonna tune in to watch him 1-2 his way to a knockout or something. I don't know. We'll see. Anything can happen. Um,
Yeah.
I do know that Sugar Sean has been training on his takedown defense. I've seen a video, um, and he looks quite impressive, bruh. So yeah, I'm
Sprawl.
I'm excited to see
Keep
Sugar
this crawling
Sean
back up. Wait till they see me now.
try and get this one done.
Down.
That's the video you
he's
want to check.
trolling, bruh. He's trolling hard.
But
So
my thing
yeah,
is
bruh,
this,
I'm
man.
amped for him. Let's go, Sugar.
Let's go, sugar. But here's my thing. Jokes aside, guys. Now, honestly,
Mhm.
this bantamweight division is one of the best divisions in the UFC at the
Hands
moment for
down.
me. If you
Hands
look
down,
at it,
lady.
it's quality from all those fighters we can see. All quality, all could have been a champion at time, or were considered a contender at one point in their career. So there are so many fights to make in this division. But
Yes,
I
yes,
don't know
yes.
how you can settle on Sean O'Malley versus Merab. We got the Sandhagen fight. It's right there, bro. We've been wanting to see
But
Sandhagen fight
Sandhagen and
O'Malley for the
O'Malley will
longest
be.
time. For the
Yeah.
longest time, we've wanted to see that fight,
If
Jedi.
the UFC does anything right for themselves, they should do the O'Malley and Sandhagen fight.
Yeah, I agree.
1000% agree.
I
Even
agree.
before this fight, I would have wanted to
Yes.
see the Petr Yan Sean O'Malley rematch. But what
Yes.
fight fan
Mm.
doesn't want to see that fight run back because of the way that the
Absolutely.
circumstances
Yeah.
ended under?
Absolutely.
Do it for 5 rounds, bro. Make it a main
Yeah.
event.
Yeah,
I'd watch that,
exactly.
bro. No problem.
Facts.
So
That would sell
but
out.
just yeah, exactly, bro.
That will
That's
sell
such a
out.
big fight, bro. That's such a big fight. But my thing is just like the division is so good, and you're making these kind of fights, man. You have so many contenders who can fight now amongst each other to give the fans what they want to see. But now you're making these fights. I'm not mad at the Sandhagen Figueiredo fight. I'm not mad at that
Me
at
too.
all, bro. But
Me too.
you can't give O'Malley a straight title rematch. There's no reason, bro. He won his belt. He defended it once against Chito Vera,
Yeah.
bro, which was a wash, bro. Chito Vera just
Yes.
didn't show up. Defended his belt once,
Lost it
never
after
again.
that.
Lost it, bro. He's fought
Yeah.
3 ranked opponents in his entire
Yeah.
UFC career.
Yeah.
What in the world warrants this man
Yeah.
an immediate
It
rematch?
didn't make sense. Bro, if it was a
Especially
split
after the
decision.
performance he put on that night, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my
He
Terrible.
got dominated, bro. He got washed.
That's
Terrible.
my point.
So where is this coming from, bro?
If
I
it
don't
was
know.
a split decision fight, if he fought Merab hard for 2 rounds, or like, you know what I mean, it was tight. He was close to like he rocked him or whatever. And if it was a split decision fight, then 100%, bro,
Yeah.
you would be amped to see it. But as we are saying, it's like, what is Sean O'Malley gonna do other than trying to crack him to win the fight?
Won't work.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just don't see it. I don't see
I
it,
don't see
bro.
it either. I honestly
Um,
don't see it.
But this is kind of the story of O'Malley's career, right? This Dana White
Literally.
privilege. People don't see him winning, but he still managed to get results. So we don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, I'm
I
just
think
remembering. Yeah, no, that was to win it. He won it against
I think
Aljo and defended. Yeah, sorry, BG.
he won it against Aljo. He defended it against. He won it from Aljo.
They
You're right. He
Won
won
it
it
from
from.
Aljo. Yeah.
Yeah. He won it from Aljo. No, I was just gonna say. This is probably why he's got such a 50-50 fan base. What you mentioned earlier on the beginning of the episode, you were saying that no matter what, the fans are going to come to watch him lose and watch him win. And
Yeah.
I think what stems from that is what you described now. His career in the UFC has been carefully put together by the UFC to so much to the point where it's not even hidden anymore, and fans can notice it, and they're like, you know what, this guy actually sucks ass because you handpicked a lot of his fights to get to that position to be in the top 5. And when he did fight against a ranked opponent, he actually lost that fight according to the eyes of every single person that have watched the fight, saw that he lost that fight, and then they still gave it to him, which then set him up to become a champion. So the fact that they gave the win to him against Petr Yan the first time or that fight is enough to make you realize that that was perfectly done by the UFC so that they can hold up this character for us to hate and love. You know what I mean? Because then ultimately it will sell tickets every time this purple haired man is going to be on the screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very
It's that
clever.
It's that Jake Paul effect. It's a similar kind of dynamic.
You put it that way.
Again, you either love him or hate him, but either way you're gonna watch him.
The way you're going to pay for watch it, yeah. You're going to pay to see it happen.
So yeah,
Regardless.
so just kind of segueing away from this for a little bit, but that Sandhagen Figueiredo fight, who you guys got there? Early predictions, BG.
Tough to say, hey, because
Yeah,
Figgy, you can't bet against Figgy, bruh. Honestly, it's hard to bet against that dude. you think he's not going to survive, but then he does.
The Gator
game
Baba.
plan is way. Yo, it's crazy.
And you know what? Now Figueiredo fought Petr Yan and Petr Yan beat him. Sandhagen fought Petr Yan and Petr Yan beat him as well. So it's like you can't go with that measurement. That math's not going to work, you know. And I like Cody. I'm a big fan of Cody, bro. I think he's one of my favorite in that bantamweight. I still believe he can be the champion there. but he does get gun shy when the opponent is difficult for him to figure out. Petr Yan was difficult for him to figure out. Very offbeat striking, and Figueiredo has got probably the most championship experience of all those guys in that division because he was champion for how long in the flyweight division, so he knows what it's like to go the 5 rounds in a high competitive way. A bit more than Cody, a bit more than Rab, but more than Umar Nurmagomedov. He's got the most experience as a champion, so it's hard to bet against any of that. But I'm still going to go with my man Sandhagen because it's 2 fight losing streak. He's going to have to correct it. And I know he knows if he goes down one more loss, he could count his title. His title credentials could be very questionable. And I think that's going to put a lot on him to win the fight. Whereas for Figueiredo, if he loses, he's not going to get tarnished by his legacy at any way, shape, or form because he's done so much already in the UFC. So if he just for him win or lose against Sandhagen, if he just do a very good fight, he will still be in that top 5. You know what I mean? Whether he wins or lose. But for Sandhagen, there's more to lose than Figueiredo. So I think Sandhagen's going to get the job done. But I'll give X's and O when we do the preview.
Fair play, BG. Jedi Knight, early prediction for Sandhagen Figueiredo.
Yeah, no, of course I'm gonna go with my guy Davidson, Deuce Tiguera. I have to, but I think Deuce Tiguera stretches him out and takes his back and submits him.
Heavy. Yeah, I think Sandhagen that's a very bad fight for him. I think Figueiredo is the kind of fighter that he doesn't want to get in there with, because although Figueiredo is technical, he's not the most technical, and he doesn't mind making it dogfight, man. He doesn't mind
love it.
out dogging you, and that's the kind of fighter that Sandhagen has struggled with in the past. Someone who's just that gritty, not wanting to make it a pretty fight. And because the thing is, if you're gonna stand with Sandhagen and you're gonna play the distance game, probably gonna lose, bro. Probably gonna lose that fight because he's so good technically, he's so awkward. So I think this is a very bad fight for Sandhagen, unfortunately, and I do think that, like you guys, I think Davison is going to be the one year. But yeah, BG, you of course said Sandhagen, but yeah, these are early predictions. We will of course get into detail with those as the time draws closer. But then just one more question for the boys is, bro, what does the UFC have against my boy Petr Yan, bro?
I don't know, eh?
Terrible
It is.
decisions against him, not getting his title shot. What is the buzz, maybe now?
Oh, bro, the most unlucky dude in that division by far. Maybe even possibly the whole UFC. Because what more? You can say, what more must he do to prove? Like, come on, like, give me the shot, guy. Because he's a killer, and he's not like he's losing badly to anybody. Merab was the only one that really made him look like he was nothing. Let's be honest. Other than that, though, he's been ultimately competitive with every single fight he's fought against, beating pretty much everybody except for Aljo and Merab. So yeah, I agree with you, but I think the UFC is doing him a dirty. Big ups, dirty, because he definitely, for me, deserves the title shot more than O'Malley. He was more active than O'Malley last year. Last year he fought 3 times. I think he's definitely put himself in a position where he could argue that, but I just don't think the UFC want to give it to him. I think they don't like. I just think that maybe he doesn't have as much numbers and pay-per-view points as O'Malley does.
It's possible, yeah. But I would imagine that he draw quite a big contingent from Russia because it's such a big country. But maybe it doesn't translate into pay-per-view buys because of the time difference, which has been a factor in the past. So yeah, it could just again and again, that seems to be Dana White's MO. Is it's pretty much about money now over everything else. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Jedi Knight, any thoughts on Petr Yan and his treatment in the UFC?
Bro, I've always been a Petr Yan fan. I think he's definitely in the top 3 in the division. I don't think he lost against Sean O'Malley in the very beginning, and that was like the major turning point for Petr Yan. Since that fight, it was
and
the
for
UFC
Sean
was fucking dogging him like.
And for Sean,
But yeah, I think Petr Yan for me is my pick in the division. I think he's the best guy, and the UFC can do what they want as long as he keeps winning. They can't kind of turn him back. The only thing is time. But yeah,
I mean, he's only 32. I think he's still deadly, you know. It's just
Yeah,
like
he's
you say,
still
he's young, bro.
still approaching that peak
I
brow
feel like
technique
Peter Yan would
prowess.
have a very good career in the one championship. Like he would
Yo.
be
Yeah.
become like the best bantamweight in the world if he moves to the one
In MMA or
in
kickboxing?
MMA. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
then
he
you
in
would
did
have
well
to
in
MMA.
fight.
kickboxing as well.
I think it would beat the kickboxing. I agree with Eddie, even Muay Thai. But
He has to
MMA,
beat that Marias.
Fabricio. No, he
Yeah,
must beat
Fabricio Andrade.
Fabricio
That's
Andrade.
no Marias.
Moraes.
that's
Moraes is
Oh,
flyweight.
okay. Doesn't matter
Yeah.
who's there, but I think this man's gonna clean him out. I think you'll clean him out, bro. Easy. And he trains. He does a lot of fight camps in Thailand, so he's very
yeah.
Yeah,
familiar
he
with
always trains
those there.
there.
Mm.
Yeah.
But okay, ladies and gentlemen, let us know in the comments your thoughts on O'Malley versus Merab 2, Sandhagen versus Figueiredo, and as well as the UFC's vendetta against Petr Yan. Boys, I'm going to go to some final thoughts now, and then we're going to wrap
Mm,
it up. So, BG, any final
yeah.
thoughts? Yeah.
Yeah, look, as much as I think it was a very bad decision from the UFC, if this is really going to be the case, and it looks like this is going to be the case for Merab versus O'Malley too, I still am excited about that bantamweight division, to be honest with you. It's stacked, and you said it, Eddie, it's very competitive, and I'm excited, dude, for any one of those top 7 fighters to fight each other. It's going to be a good fight to watch. So, as much as I'm salty about the decision for the title fights, I'm also very excited to see the competitors for the number one contention. That's going to be epic for any one of those guys. Because now what happens is we're leaving Merab versus, we're leaving Petr Yan to potentially fight Umar Nurmagomedov. You know what I mean? There was a figure that was called Sandhagen. Song Yadong just now came off a win, and the division is looking like it's becoming more and more competitive, and that's exciting because I always enjoyed the bantamweight. It was one of my favorite divisions. Dominic was still champion and so on. So, yeah, I'm happy to see that it's coming back to life.
Copy that, BG. Jedi Knight.
What?
Final thoughts. You want to say goodbye to the main, sir?
Yeah, I'm excited, bro. No matter what the hell now, there's obviously opportunities here with this fight, and then we'll see what the bookies come out with, bro. What they give the lads.
There we go. There we go. Lots of money to be made. So keep a
Some money to
lookout
be
for the
made.
parlay show later this week, ladies and gentlemen. But as always, if you have made it this far in the video, please don't forget to like, share, and
Who is
subscribe
this
to the
other
channel.
shot?
Hey?
Anyway, no, that's fine. We'll catch up on the parlay show.
All right, we'll catch up on the parlay show. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for watching. Thank you for all the love and support. Again, please like, subscribe, all those good things. It really does help us out so much. But thank you once again, and we'll see you tomorrow
Yep.
on
Preview for the UFC. Yeah.
Fighting with Friends.